Do you know the real risk carried in your debt mutual funds? In 2022, SEBI introduced a new method for debt funds to disclose their real risk. It's called the Potential Risk Class Matrix, or the PRC Matrix. Mind you, potential risk class is different from the stated category risk of the debt fund. Let's understand this PRC matrix. Hello everyone, I am Vineet Rajani and welcome to Zerodha Varsity videos. The PRC matrix plots the two most important risks that debt funds carry: interest rate risk and credit risk. Now, what is interest rate risk? Suppose you invested in a 5-year bond that pays 8% coupon. A few months later, interest rates went up and now they are paying 10% coupon. But you are stuck with the bond that pays 8%. Now, if you try to sell this bond in the market, you will have to sell it at a loss. That's your interest rate risk. Interest rates going down can also be a risk. Your yields go down. And what is credit risk? The possibility that the borrower, the company that issued the bonds, fails to pay the interest or repay your principal. Now back to the PRC matrix. Across the vertical axis, interest rate is graded as 1, 2 or 3 in Roman numbers, with 1 being the lowest risk and 3 being the highest. Across the horizontal axis, credit risk is graded as A, B and C, with A being the lowest credit risk and C being the highest. Now look at this table. A fund with A1 rating has the lowest interest rate risk and credit risk. A fund with C3 has the highest levels of both risks. Similarly, A3 would mean the fund has low credit risk but high interest rate risk. Don't worry, you do not have to construct this PRC matrix on your own. You just have to be comfortable understanding this matrix because the funds are supposed to disclose this on their own every month in their fact sheet. Let's look at this medium to long duration fund by ICICI Prudential AMC. The stipulated standard benchmark for this category is the CRISIL Medium to Long Duration Debt Index. The risk class of this particular index is A3. So the funds are also mentioning the benchmark's PRC matrix in the fact sheet. But see that the fund's PRC is B3. This shows that the fund has a style drift compared to its benchmark. It is taking more credit risk than its benchmark index. But who placed this fund in the B3 category? The fund manager is supposed to self-evaluate and place itself accordingly in the PRC matrix. It must then stick with its stated risk level. In the same fact sheet, the riskometer of this fund is shown like this: moderate. So, the risk to be assumed according to the PRC matrix and the actual risk assumed seems similar, that is moderate. A fund is said to be sticking within its risk limits if the level of risk taken is less than or equal to what it has specified in the PRC matrix. So, the risk to be assumed according to the matrix and the actual risk assumed are similar, that is moderate. A fund is said to be within its risk limits if the risk taken is less than or equal to what it has specified in the PRC matrix. If, let's say, a fund exhibits high risk in the riskometer, it is said to have taken more risk than it has specified in the PRC matrix. In such cases, you are free to exit the fund without any exit load. The fund may take lesser risk but not more than what it has specified in the PRC matrix. You may wonder, if a fund has assumed different risks than its benchmark, shouldn't it follow a different benchmark? Well, yes and no. For that, SEBI has introduced a two-tier benchmarking system. Under this system, a fund has to follow the particular benchmark that AMFI has specified for that category. This system is applicable for both equity and debt funds. For example, according to AMFI, ELSS funds must benchmark themselves against the Nifty 500 or S&P BSE 500 indexes only. No other index apart from these two can be the first-tier index for ELSS funds. Now let's say there's an ELSS fund that invests in only the top 250 stocks by market cap. It is free to have Nifty 250 as its additional benchmark or second-tier benchmark. However, declaring the additional benchmark or second-tier benchmark is not mandatory. The first-tier benchmark must reflect the category of the fund. The second-tier benchmark may reflect the specific style or strategy that the fund manager follows. Now look at this fact sheet for Motilal Oswal Ultra Short Term Fund. As the name suggests, it's an ultra short duration fund. Hence, the primary benchmark is the CRISIL Ultra Short Duration Index, and the fund's risk category in the PRC matrix is B1, the same as its benchmark. But the fund is perhaps tilted to a liquid strategy. That's why its additional benchmark is the CRISIL Liquid Debt Index. The Tier 2 benchmark or the additional benchmark puts the PRC matrix of a fund in context. It helps you compare the fund's performance with the specific style or strategy it follows and the risks it assumes. To conclude with, we explored so far what the PRC matrix is with respect to debt funds, what the two-tier benchmarking system is, and how the two interface with each other to enable a better investment decision. I hope that was informative. See you in the next one.